Welcome to the Impactful Engineer Project. I'm Steve Maxey, and with my co-host and brother Jake, we are here to bring you guidance, fresh ideas, and the tools to help you become an impactful engineer.
Welcome to the Impactful Engineer. Our mission is to give you the blueprint for career excellence, not just the textbook answers. To have honest conversations for engineers who are sick of the status quo. But who are we? Why should you listen to us and what we have to say? I'm Steve Maxey, and after a decade of grinding as a product development engineer, I changed my approach and started advancing quickly to my current role as a senior manager in product development. And I'm here with my brother Jake, who found career success as a senior electrical engineer and is now building NLS Engineering, a consulting firm in the AEC industry. We believe the biggest problems you face aren't technical, they're human. And we're here to open the door for you to make your career undeniably great with mindset shifts and tools to use daily. But it takes your decisive action to make it happen. Hello, Jacob.
Hello. How's it going, man?
It's going, man. It's going well.
Good. So we have 3 episode types. First one is Steve and I get on here and share stuff with you along our mission and hopefully give you something good to work with. Second episode type is just one of us get on here. We have something that we really want to get off our chest and say and kind of like not preach, but document ourselves. So you'll see those solo episodes come along every once in a while. And then we have guest episodes where we bring someone else's perspective onto the show to share with you that we think will give you an edge in your career as well, and just in life in general. And those are usually pretty good. Those are usually about an hour, a good podcast to turn on when you're traveling somewhere. That's it. That's the 3 episode types.
Yep.
What do you got today, Stephen?
What do I have today? I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and just the concept of propelling others. Being selfless in how you operate. This could be in your personal life, your professional life, etc. And the dichotomy between that and, when you are pouring out too much, and it's not making a difference, or it's even going the opposite direction that you intend. And when should you stop doing that? Right. Mm-hmm. Or make a pivot in your approach. So that's kind of like the larger thing that I would like to talk about today. Our podcast itself was originally started, and still is operating in our desire to help others, right? To help other engineers learn from what we've learned, mm-hmm. And hopefully propel them to career excellence, as we say. And I think you and I both do that in our day-to-days with our families, our friends, but also in our careers and the clients that you deal with on a day-to-day basis, right? We give as much as we possibly can because we know it affects the world in a positive manner. But let's talk about a couple of different scenarios, right? As a manager, one of the most prevalent scenarios that you'll see is you have someone on your team that you're pouring a lot of energy in, and because you want them to be successful, you want them to keep growing, but it's like a cup with a lot of holes in it, right? You keep pouring in, and it just keeps draining out. And if you stop, they're just going to completely fall flat. But you have your own reserves of what you're pouring in, and you're going to run out yourself. So when does it make sense to cut those ties, right? And really, it's when you notice that it's going to take continuous effort to keep them at minimal operating standard or even lower, and that they will not be able to keep up that level without your constant attention. In my experience, that's when you have to cut bait, so to say, and it's in the best interest of the team to do that, right? And I've seen it time again. I've had to go through this process a number of times, and when it happens, yes, the workload is higher with the team, but you can just sense that weight being lifted off the rest of the team. They are in much better spirits. They are working harder. They're like more smiles on their face. They feel more valued because they are higher performers and they know that there's a standard to be kept on the team. And if you don't meet that standard, then, you're not allowed to stay with that team. And so as a manager, that's probably the most prevalent scenario. But I think you're going to run into this as an individual contributor as well, right? You're going to be a team member and you'll have, your coworker in the same kind of boat, you rely on their outputs and inputs to make your own work successful. And if you have to constantly, look over their shoulder and support them and like show them how to do things over and over and over, your work is going to go down and you're going to be, taking, the hit on performance reviews or whatever, like on that perspective from leaders, you could unknowingly be looked upon in a less poor or a more poor manner than you would otherwise, because your work is suffering because you're helping this other person so much. Now, it's one thing to help someone out to get them up to speed and then they're rocking and rolling and you're good, right? We all love to do that. That's kind of part of culture in every professional, right? But when do you need to just stop doing that, right? So
here's
I want to hear your take because I've been talking a lot.
No, you're laying it out. I mean, the context is really good. I had thoughts in as you're speaking, and it's like really what it really comes down to. I don't know about when, but here's how I think about it. You can either continue to suffer and work really hard and have poor performance on an individual basis and as a team, which then adds to the poor performance of the company. Or you can suffer, and I say suffer because it's like work is hard. So you you can work really hard, push through, and you're on a team that's firing on all cylinders and you're adding to the value of the business. You're achieving individual success and team success, and you're maximizing the value you give to those around you, to yourself because you're building skills, and to the business. You can do either one and still work really hard, but one of them has a much higher inherent value than the other one, which is keeping someone on that doesn't belong there and doesn't fit and is not performing the way that would be beneficial to the team, and is dragging you down because you found out that you love helping people, which I do too, and you say, if only I had another 3 months with this person, it would be better, and if I just did more, and if I just explain it in a different way, or if I just change my approach, yes, and actually it's true, eventually they would get better. But you have to take into account how long is too long. What detriment is it to the rest of the team in that time frame? Yes. So you have to know all that stuff ahead of time, but that's the way I think about it. And the obvious answer to me is, change it and let's go to the other way. I like working hard and it's completely positive and going up, that's absolutely what I prefer. But you're also, and this one is like, I feel like talked about a lot, but it's so true that you're keeping this person in a place where they don't belong, and whether they enjoy it or not is up for debate, but I don't think they're enjoying being in that position and sucking. I don't think anyone wants to be that person. Yeah. And so you owe it to the team and him and her and whatever the situation, like, to put people in the right spot. Yeah. So absolutely. Yeah. And you're denying that possibility by not changing what needs to be changed. So that's the other way to do it. Yeah. To think about it. Yeah. And what about Steve? What about if it's a person that's not under your direct influence or control? That's a curveball. Yeah. I mean, I think everyone is under your direct influence. Now control is different. Yeah. If you're not the direct boss. Yeah. Even then it's kind of hard, right? Yeah. But, you can keep trying to a point, influencing others that are around you that aren't, like you're not their manager or anything. But, everyone is a leader to some degree, right? You're going to lead by example. You're going to lead by excellence, etc.
and you have influence around in the sphere of people around you. So, but I think there's a point where you have to dial back the intentional support if it is damaging the overall team. If it's damaging all the work that your other team members and yourself are doing, you have to dial it back. And I'm not saying completely cut them off, but because if you're not the one who is responsible for any kind of termination or improvement process or anything, there's levels that you are not able to take action on. But you can. I think at this point it would be unreasonable to expect that your manager or leader would be unaware of the situation, but that can happen. So if that is the situation, then I think it is up to you to notify that leader, right? To make sure, like, hey, I've been really trying to support Bob over here, but he's just not cutting it. I don't know what to do at this point. I really need to focus on my work, and Jane over there needs to focus on her work, so she can't really help him out either.
What's the next step?
What's the next step? Is there something else that we can do, or that you can refer him to, or whatever, to get him some additional support? But we can't keep going crazy like this. So, but with all that said, I do want to flip the tone here, because pouring into others and supporting others is a fantastic thing. And I don't want to dissuade anyone from putting energy into other people, because I am a big advocate for doing that.
Yes.
And so I want to go over some examples of where you find success in that. So, and I'll tell some personal stories just to put into context. But when a few jobs ago, I had an intern come in, and I was the only other engineer on the team, and he was very sharp, but not experienced, right? Because he's an intern. And then he got hired on as a full engineer. This is at the very beginning of when I started figuring out how much I enjoyed helping other people find success in their careers. This is like the very beginning. Like this was like the catalyst, right? Is I started showing him how to do things, and like how to think about design work, et cetera, like that. And then just seeing his rapid growth and acceleration in being excellent at what he does, it had a realization of how much I love doing that. And it was the reason why I got into leadership in the first place, was because of that experience. And so I don't want to dissuade people from pouring into other people, because it really is impactful to not only like your soul, right? Like your own contentness. I don't know what they're fulfillment. There you go. Yeah. And your own fulfillment, but even more importantly, you see the pride that they have in the success that they're finding, and that's way cooler. And the other aspect of it is when you are a manager and you develop your team to be a high performance team, and then you have individuals on the team that are like growing rapidly in their careers and taking on more responsibilities, and you're essentially putting them in the right position to have exposure to leadership, to have exposure to like high profile projects, et cetera, and have those wins that they get, right? Which is more important than the wins that you get, in my opinion. It's more important to give the recognition and the wins of success to your team. And when they get to that point when you get to that point where you need to move to a different team, or you get promoted, or whatever that case may be, now that team is fully set up for success and can operate without you and still continue on winning from that point forward. And you are pulled out of the equation, and they still win. And that is awesome. That's like one of my favorite things. So I wanted to paint a positive picture on the whole concept of pouring into others, because I think more often than not, you're going to have more positive than negative, like 95-5, right? It's going to be it's way going to skew on the positive side. So anyways, I just wanted to share a couple of examples of why I think it's important to pour into others and not just focus on yourself. It's not only going to give you fulfillment, but you're going to see other people light up and find success as well.
Beautiful. I agree with everything. Take it away, man.
Yeah,
that's it.
You got nothing else?
That's it. That's all there is to it.
All right. So hopefully that strikes a chord with some of you listening, or all of you especially.
Maybe it gives you a way to frame moving on from someone too. If you're one of those people like us that just wants to pour energy into others all the time, like this podcast, like the volunteering we do, like what you do every day in your work, Steve, and like what I used to do every day, and we'll get another chance to do soon, that you know that it's also okay to move on so that it can continue, because you can only inspire someone so much. You can only instill that spirit into somebody so much. They have to take it upon themselves to carry it. And if they're just not, then why would you continue? And because you are the person to fix it and you are the person to bring them out of it, that's not the reason. That's not a good reason.
Yeah, they're
someone
the ones
else is going to help them.
Yeah, they're the ones who need to take that action to make the difference in their own lives.
Yeah.
But you can show them the way. You know, the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Sure.
That's what it boils down to.
But sometimes you aren't the person though either. Is really what
absolutely.
I'm getting at.
Yeah, there could be a better person to lead that horse to water. You need to
get out of the way.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to get out of the way. That's the biggest lesson I learned in this whole thing when I was a career engineer. Was sometimes you can't fix them. Fix them. Sometimes you can't be the one to bring the correct message at the right time.
Yeah, I was going to say that there's a best guide for everyone out there, and it's not always going to be you.
That's right.
So
yeah, I used the wrong word there. We're not fixing people.
We're guiding.
We're doing what we can to help them in their life and their career.
From our own experiences.
Yep,
absolutely. All right. So if you did learn something today, or think someone else needs to hear this, please share the show. Leave us a review. Also, 5 stars are fantastic. You can do that, but five are better.
Yeah, 4 we need to improve and leave the reason why. 5's great.
Yes.
Leave the reason why. 3 and below doesn't matter.
Yeah, definitely leave a reason, because I think that provides a lot more context for other people who are curious about what we're all about. So it's the best way that we can grow this podcast and continue to create value and impact for the engineering community.